Hi folks, welcome to the Prepared Homestead. This is Travis. Thank you all for stopping by to watch. Man, I have really been trying to be objective, fair, with what's going on, because I know that there's a lot of you that are just really disgusted in the things that I've said, but I'm telling you, it's getting difficult because of the insanity that's happening. I've been, from the very beginning, have admitted many different things that's happened that are good, that I think that's needed to be done, but there's other stuff that's just, I don't know. Anyway, so today the Epstein files, they said, well, Pam Bondi, the Attorney General, remember, she said that they were on her desk, that the files were on her desk. This was like 2 weeks ago. And then last night, after some pressure online, she stated that she was going to release them today. Well, that's kind of true, but not necessarily. But before I just say, yeah, they were released, they called in a small group of social media influencers. These are people that many of you know, Jack Posobiec, Liz Wheeler. These are, if you're on like Twitter and stuff a lot, these are the big, pro-MAGA people that have been pushing, and supporting Donald Trump all along. So they got called into the West Wing and were given a file folder about this big called the Epstein Files Phase 1. So they were released to these people. They're going to go on their channels and they're going to talk about them and supposedly release them. And of course, it's going to make them lots of money because that's how they make money, right? They're influencers. They get clicks and likes and traffic. And so it's weird that it's happening that way, that it wasn't some type of formal press release just to the general public, that it's being released through these avenues. That to me is very suspicious. I don't know, maybe I'm wrong, but I just don't like that. But now they're saying that those aren't actually the full files, that basically what they gave them was mostly what we already know, mostly what's already been public, not really the classified files. It's not the list, client list or anything. Most of that was, news reports that were kind of public. Now, the Attorney General is saying that, well, the FBI has the files and that they haven't released them, and that they're actually being held by NYPD and the FBI office in New York, and they're not releasing the files. And so apparently when Pam Bondi said that the files were on her desk, that wasn't actually true. It's all murky, and it all, to me, smells really dirty, that they're doing everything they can to subvert the truth getting out. That's what it feels like. So that by the time, if they ever actually really do get released, by the time that happens, they're probably going to be so corrupted and redacted and missing that most likely the really true list is probably never going to be seen, or it's long gone. So that's just, it just stinks. It just stinks. And there's people online that are trying to make excuses for the FBI, for, the new FBI director, Kash Patel, and Pam Bondi, the Attorney General. And there's others saying, listen, they need to get their act together. Speaking of Kash Patel, the FBI director, he says that he wants to bring in UFC fighters, the mixed martial arts, UFC. He wants to bring in UFC fighters to start training FBI agents. I don't know. Maybe that's a good idea, but it also just sounds like a circus show. I would think. I'm not discounting the capabilities, the fighting capabilities of UFC, but it's. I don't know. It's just something about that. Let's see, what else was there? There was a few other things. I've been busy today, so trying to remember all the things that I saw. I did see that Donald Trump is once again kind of siding with Russia. Again, this is just, it's all such a strange shifting of how things are going. He's saying that Russia fought really hard for that land in Ukraine, and so indicating that basically they conquered it, it's theirs, is how he looks at it. So that's a little strange also. Just a lot of weird stuff going on with all of this. And it's hard to put a pin in it of exactly what it is. It's just seems strange. And of course, now everything is focused on the Epstein files, and I'm not discounting the importance of that. But what about all these other files that were supposed to be declassified? We're not hearing really anything about that. There was also a news report done on Fox News, which exactly backs up what I was saying in this morning's video and yesterday's video about there being an internal civil war going on. And it was saying that top-level CIA agents have been leaking information to CNN, stating that that they are planning on, if funding gets cut and people get fired, that they will be taking classified, high-level information, intel that they have, and start giving it to foreign enemies. Now, of course, that's treason. It's criminal. It's treason. I don't doubt that at all. But it only just furthers my point of there being an internal civil war. And in fact, Glenn Beck posted today those exact words, that there's an internal civil war. So it's not just some crazy bearded whatever hillbilly saying it. There's an internal civil war going on. And there's also just weird things going on. And I'm not 100% convinced that the team that Donald Trump has put together is all good people. I'm not convinced. I didn't like Pam Bondi being chosen in the beginning. Kash Patel sounds good, looks good, but there's something I just can't. I don't trust him. And so this idea that everything's going to be all right because all the right people have been put into place, and we're going to see all this exposed, the JFK files and the 9/11 files and the Epstein files and the going to the moon files and all that. It's unlikely, folks. It's just unlikely. A game is being played just like it's always. The direction has changed. The rules have changed a little bit. It's becoming more colorful, more of a carnivalistic kind of look to it, and it almost starts to kind of look like that movie Idiocracy. And some of you have seen it. It's not a good movie to watch. It's very, very inappropriate, but saw it years ago. But this is exactly what it feels like it's happening. And I'm telling you, all is not good. This idea that everything's going to be fine because, all the bad people, all the deep staters and all the, they're all getting kicked out and the government's going to get cut back to constitutional levels and everything's going to be fine. I think that is what they want the appearance to be. But I don't think that that's what's actually happening. Time will tell. We'll figure it out, I guess. But by then it may be just too late. And so even if you err on the side of safety, even if you're unsure, maybe you don't agree with me. Maybe you think that I'm taking things a little too extreme. Just doing it to err on the side of safety, I think, is when I say do it, prepping and getting yourself prepared, I think is the best thing to do. There is definitely, I believe, an internal civil war going on, and it's going to probably spill over into other ways. And it's not just internal. I think there's external. There's a video from San Diego at the border. And it looks like some kind of Mad Max, Thunderdome type of video where there's hundreds and hundreds of people lining the wall, chanting and screaming. And apparently some of them have gotten over the wall and they're fighting with the Border Patrol agents. And it's a mess. We've been hearing that the crossings have stopped. But if there really is, which there is, criminal enterprises being going back and forth, it's going to escalate into a war. And then now that Trump is, and rightfully so, I agree with this, declared the cartels as being terrorists so that we can go after them, that is going to open up a war. It was just, I think, yesterday in the news that a farmer down on the Texas border was killed with an IED from a cartel member. We're going to start seeing internal warfare, rioting, uh, these NGO employees that's getting their jobs cut. You know, all the far lefties. There's reports out of New York of far left militias being built and very well funded and very well trained. So this idea that it's like just a bunch of frail video gaming pink-haired guys and people doing it's not. These folks are very well trained and supplied, that are being built in certain areas. Potential warfare on the southern border with the cartels is building and building and building. Just internal conflict between intelligence agencies and the new administration. There's a lot going on. And this idea that this cleaning house or draining the swamp is going to happen smoothly just because so far it kind of sort of has, I think that's, you're dreaming. So you need to be getting yourselves prepared seriously, because I think America is headed for a really rough spot for a while. The economy's not handling it well. A lot of the big money has been pulling out of the stock market, I think because they know things. Why do you think gold is just flying off the shelf and skyrocketing, and these suppliers, distributors are running short on gold and struggling to keep up their supplies to sell? It's because people in the know, people that have money, people that are big in investments and corporations, they see the handwriting on the wall. They may agree with these policies. Who knows? It doesn't matter. They're all about saving the bottom dollar, and they see that hard times are coming to America. And every day we're seeing just a little bit more, that it's getting a little bit worse, a little bit more tense, a little bit more on edge. And usually my only problem when I tell this stuff is not that I'm right or wrong, is that I'm just way ahead of the curve. And I'm telling you, it may be weeks away, it may be months away, but I think it's almost unavoidable at this point. And you better be getting ready for some serious upheaval and strife in this country. Probably more so than we ever saw through the Biden administration. I think definitely a lot more. It's time to get your houses in order, folks. Get serious, get prepped up, get your plans ready, because things are going to start getting rough. Start preparing yourselves mentally, physically, and spiritually. Thanks for watching. Catch you in the next video.